Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the University of Northern Colorado. Thank you for joining us for our second UNC Talk session for the academic year of 2016-17. My name is Erwin Raimundo, and I'm the Graduate Assistant for the Office of Enrollment Management and Student Access. Tonight's UNC Talk session will highlight and answer some of the common questions about admissions and the application process. Joining us this evening are three amazing individuals who work at UNC, two from our Visitor Center and one from the Office of Enrollment Management and Student Access. Let's go ahead and get started with some introductions. Larissa, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Erwin. My name's Larissa. I'm an enrollment coach and recruiter here at UNC. I graduated from UNC as well. I have 3 degrees from here. I love it here. That's why I've stayed. I also am part of or an advisor for our Dreamer Engagement Program, which we call DEP. So I work with a lot of undocumented and documented students at UNC.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Kelly. I am a first year and transfer admission counselor here at UNC. I also graduated from UNC with my bachelor's degree in history, and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in higher education and student affairs leadership.
And my name is James. I'm an admissions counselor at UNC. I'm also the visitor center coordinator. So if you come to visit UNC, you'll run into me. I was a student here at UNC a little while ago. I graduated with a degree in communication studies and a minor in sociology.
James, you also look really familiar. Are you also Claus the Bear on occasion?
I wouldn't look familiar because I'd be wearing a large mask, but that is something I've done before and really enjoy.
I'm just checking. So thank you for introducing yourselves to our audience. I'm sure a lot of their questions will be answered this evening, especially about Claus. So yes, this first question I'm going to ask all our panelists to answer. And this question says, when should I start thinking about my options for college? Larissa?
It's really never too early to start thinking about college. Definitely start looking into what kinds of things you're interested in studying. That could be early on in middle school, high school. We usually get a lot of juniors and seniors thinking about coming to college, obviously, when they're wrapping up their high school years. And our admissions application is now open, so you can definitely apply to UNC now.
And like Larissa said, it's really never too early. I would start as soon as you're able. Our application's open now, just like she said. And so I honestly, right after UNC talks, if you have the time, I would definitely suggest applying.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, think about college as an option, no matter where you're at, whether you're in middle school or high school. You can start thinking about college now and start preparing yourself to be in college. And the best way to do that is just to focus on your studies, get the support that you need while you're in school right now, and just find out what things, when you think about your college experience, what are some things that are non-negotiables for you? Do you like a huge campus? Do you like a medium-sized campus? So those are kind of some things to start thinking about as you prepare for college.
Those are all great points, and thank you for sharing that with our audience tonight. This next question will be for James. What kind of university is UNC, and what is UNC known for?
Thank you, Erwin. It's actually Dr. Claus. UNC, like I kind of mentioned, I alluded to middle-sized universities, and that's where we like to identify within that middle-sized university. But we also like to say we have resources of a much larger university. When I think about UNC, the things that stick out to me, especially in my student experience, are the great community. Every student will talk about the great community at UNC, and I think that talks about Greeley as a whole, where we're located, has a great community, and then UNC has a great community. And then once you get to UNC, there's kind of micro communities that exist within this space, and you can find a sense of belonging. We also have a really beautiful campus. We have every species of trees that's native to Colorado is here on campus. And that's kind of a dorky fact, but it does make our campus really beautiful. And then another thing that sticks out to me is great professors. And we have professors who care and who engage students in the undergraduate research that they're doing, which is great. It looks great for resumes. So we really care about preparing students for life after college, which I think is important to consider.
Thanks, James. I couldn't agree with you more. UNC is great on and off campus. The Greeley community is beautiful and wonderful here. Also, yes, our professors are very invested in the futures of our undergraduates. Just a quick follow-up for you, James. Is that an MD or a PhD for Claus?
I'm working through both of them right now.
Oh, so in progress. So your Claus is not a doctor yet.
Correct, yeah.
All right, thank you for clearing that up. So this next question will be for Lauren. What is the average class size at UNC?
So like I told a couple of you on Snapchat yesterday, one of my favorite things about UNC is the small class sizes. So our average class size is about 25 to 35 students. We actually do have 74% of our courses that have fewer than 30 students in them. So it's definitely a very impressive number, especially for a university of our size. We also have a 16:1 student to faculty ratio. So you're definitely getting a lot of one-on-one interaction with faculty. And another one of my favorite things is that your faculty will know your name within about a week and a half. So definitely a benefit to you as a student here.
Thank you, Lauren. This next question will be for my amazing coworker, Larissa. Do I have to live on campus while I attend UNC?
So the answer is a little bit confusing, but yes, you do have to live as a first-year student unless you are within the boundaries of our school district. And we're going to post on the bottom here what those boundaries are and what school districts you need to be a part of. But if you live outside of those boundaries, then yes, you do have to live on campus for your first year. And unless if you have 20 plus college credits, or if you're over 21, then that would also exclude you from living on campus. But if you are coming out of high school, you're under 21, you have less than 20 college credits, and you don't live in the school district boundaries, then yes, you do have to live on campus for your first year only.
Thank you, Letty. Lauren, this will be for you. We kind of touched base on this about the application already being open to apply to UNC. This question says, how do I apply to UNC, and when do I find out if I got accepted?
Yeah, so you are able to apply to UNC, like we said right now. So you actually will create a My UNC profile, and this applies if you are a senior and you're wanting to apply, or also if you are maybe your current you're a current student at a community college in Colorado. That's definitely an option for you to apply as well. So you'll create a My UNC profile, and then after that, it's a very, very simple application that you will have to follow. We also do require a $45 non-refundable application fee, and we do have fee waivers as well if that's something that you need. And then we will also need your official high school transcript and college transcripts if you are also a transfer student. And those do need to be official, so they do need to be sent directly to UNC from your high school or from your college. So it's very, very simple to apply. We also do require our incoming first-year students to have test scores as well. So they need to be official test scores. You can take either the ACT or the SAT or both. I highly recommend taking both tests, as you never know which one you're going to do better on. So I think it's always just a good idea to try to take both. And as far as when you find out when you're getting accepted, usually it's about 2 weeks or so from the point that we get every material in. So if you have sent in your application but not your official high school transcript yet, it could be just a little bit longer, but typically it's around 2 to 2.5 weeks.
Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, it's a pretty quick turnaround. Once you submit a complete application, you'll know within 7 to 14 business days, probably. So thank you again for that. James, before I ask you this question, what is Claus's PhD in?
It's pretty standard. Psychology, it's pretty popular. PhD.
No big deal, just a PhD in psych. Okay, cool. Thank you, James. So, James, this question is going to be for you. Lauren kind of touched on GPA, ACT, and SAT scores. This exploring student is asking, what GPA, ACT, and SAT score do I need to get into UNC?
Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a pretty common question that we receive, and it's just it's important to note that excuse me. It's important to note that we don't have any hard and fast rules. So we get this question all the time. People are wanting us to say you need to have a blank on the ACT. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to take more of a holistic approach to viewing student records and understanding the student as a whole before we make an admission decision. So we don't have these hard and fast rules, but we do have what an average first-year student looks like. And they come in to UNC with anywhere from about a 3.0 GPA to a 3.8. Maybe on their ACT, they got anywhere from a 19 to a 25. And on their SAT, they had a 970 to 1170. And that's without the writing portion. So that's what an average student looks like. But again, if you have specific questions about whether or not it's the right time for you to come to UNC, you can contact us at the admissions office. We'll walk through that with you and we'll kind of work through that. And if you're not happy with your initial test scores, you can retake your test scores as many times as you want and continue to send those into us. And we'll, if we've already made decisions on your application, we'll continually evaluate those scores for you.
Thanks, James. So while we're speaking about scores, Lauren, could you answer this for our audience? Does UNC use superscoring?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We typically use super scores for only scholarship purposes. So basically, if you don't know what a super score is, basically what we do is we take, let's say you've taken the ACT twice. And let's say that maybe your first time you took it and you got a 21 on the math section, and then you took it again, you got maybe a 23. We will average out those scores for you so that you eventually will get the best score so you can get the best scholarship possible. Here at UNC, we want you to be able to have the best scholarships possible, so that's one of the reasons that we do decide to do that.
Yes, UNC offers a lot of institutional aid for incoming and current students, so definitely pay attention to the scores and the requirements. And a lot of these scholarships and merit-based aid are renewable each year with certain GPA requirements. So thank you so much, Lauren. This next question will be for Ladi. Do I have to write a written statement or a personal statement to get into UNC?
So on our admissions application, you do not need to submit any kind of personal statement. We do recommend submitting that if you are falling below some of the requirements. And we also recommend you having a personal statement just on hand for different scholarships or different other things that you might need to apply to. But as far as the admissions application, you do not need a written statement.
Thank you so much. This next question will be for James. It's another kind of test score question, but what if I don't meet the GPA or ACT requirements?
So we kind of talked about this in the sense that we're going to be taking a holistic approach at viewing and evaluating your application. So I kind of alluded to some numbers before for our average students, and I just want to touch on those again. If you're just outside of those numbers, remember that's an average look. So that means people are coming into UNC with scores above that and below that. So if you fall outside of those guidelines that I gave before, definitely still apply. Again, be in contact with your admission counselor. You can be doing a couple other things to strengthen your application. You can be sending in that personal statement like Larissa mentioned, or you can be getting some letters of recommendation as well if you think those would strengthen your application. If you fall way outside of that and you just think I just had a really rough year, we do want to try to understand that, but at a certain point, we also want to set you up for success at UNC. So that means maybe if you have to spend a year at community college and really prove that you can be successful at this next level of academics, you can do that. And that's not the worst thing that can happen. In fact, I was a transfer student and a non-traditional student. And that really helped me in my pursuit of a degree at UNC.
Thanks, James. No, you're absolutely right. And I think the running narrative and theme for the Office of Admissions is that please apply early. And if you have any questions, contact the Office of Admissions and we'll give you the contact information at the end of this Google Hangout. So thank you again, James. James, while I still have you on the hook, I want to ask you this. What is a major and what is a minor?
Yeah, so you can think of majors and minors as kind of what your studies will specialize in. It'll be your focus as you're here. So essentially it means that after you take some more general education courses, you'll be focusing in on one area. So for a minor, that would be anywhere from, you'd be taking 18 to 21 credits, or maybe 6 to 7 courses is another way to think about that number, in just one subject. And for a major, you'd focus on one subject and you take anywhere from 30 to 60 credits, which would be anywhere from 10 to 20 courses. So you're just think about those in terms of what you want to really focus your studies on.
Thanks, James. And it sounds like Claus is investing a lot of his time in psychology. So I'm looking forward to seeing Claus walk in May. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears and ask Lauren, how do I choose a major?
So I actually think there's a lot of things that go into consideration when you're looking at choosing a major. I definitely think you want to start with examining your interests, looking at your abilities, and also your values, because you want to make sure that when you have a career in the future that it aligns with your values and what you believe in. So I definitely think that's a very important part. It's also okay to be exploring or undeclared as you're coming into college. You can definitely get involved with different classes and figure out what it is that you're passionate about. Another tip that I have is don't rush into trying to decide on a major. I actually changed my major 4 times and I still graduated in 4 years. So it's definitely something that if you don't know what you want to do, or you're not totally sure about it, it's okay to be on the fence. It's okay to really look at your different options. We also have really great advisors. So we do have advisors through academic support and advising, as well as in the different departments across campus as well.
No, and I want to agree and echo what you basically said, that there's a lot of support options for students, whether it's a mid-college career change in major to an initial first-year student coming to UNC and deciding that, hey, maybe theater arts is not what I'm passionate about and I want to be in business. The Office of Admissions can help you changing that before you step foot on campus. So thank you, Lauren. Letty, I'm going to ask you this question. What if I don't know what I want to study?
As Lauren said, we definitely have different resources for students who are coming in as undeclared or exploring. So you have basically 2 years, or 1.5 to 2 years, which you are taking general education courses at UNC and at most institutions. So that will give you some time to kind of explore different courses, figure out what your interests are. We also have academic support and advising advisors that will sit down with you, and they work with our specific population of undeclared or exploring students. So you will have an advisor still that sits down with you and goes over all the different options. We also have different resources on campus like career services. You can take some different tests to figure out what your interests are and what you're good at, so that we can help kind of narrow down that path of where you want to go.
No, that's absolutely true. So thank you for that answer. I'm going to ask you another question. I am a dreamer, undocumented or documented student. Can I still come to UNC?
Yes, absolutely. Because of different laws and bills that have passed recently in Colorado, we definitely want to provide undocumented dreamer students, documented students with the opportunity to come to college, specifically to UNC. We've been creating different programs and different initiatives in order to help this population of students reach their goals at UNC. So the most important thing to do if you are a dreamer is to select yes on the question that asks if you are a dreamer on your admissions application applying to UNC. That way you will be placed in a list of students that I will have access to, and then I will be able to contact you to give you all the different resources so that you can get in-state tuition, so that you can maybe get some aid for our asset students, and different things like that, different opportunities to be in different programs, all that good stuff. So definitely we have the opportunity to come to college and to come to UNC if you're a dreamer.
Yes, that's absolutely true. UNC offers a wide door to all students, regardless of status, creed, gender, sex. If you have the credentials to be a Bear, as in GPA and ACT, we will definitely take you in. So thank you so much for that detailed answer. I really appreciate that. I'm going to ask James a very tough question right now. And this is a question that a lot of parents and support members typically ask around destination and discover UNC. This question is, how much does it cost to go to UNC?
Yeah, and you're right to say it is a difficult question for a couple different reasons. Number one, it's extremely variable, the answer. So there's a lot of dependent variables at play, whether you are a resident of Colorado, or maybe you live in a Western undergraduate exchange state, or maybe you're a non-resident, or you could be within this district and you could have scholarships that apply to students who are applying just from the school district that we're located in. So there's a ton of different variables, and what I really want to stress is that college is expensive, but it's also, we have a great financial aid office who's working tirelessly to make sure that college is accessible to as many students as possible. So be in contact with your admission counselor and be finding out what scholarships are available to me. Can I get loans? What would those loans look like? Maybe I'm eligible for grants. And then be talking with the financial aid office and really be honing in on more specifics with your situation, because every situation is a little bit different. But it's definitely something that is manageable, and whether you pay for college through scholarships, whether you get grants from the government, or whether you get loans, it's possible to come to college, and that's really what we want to drive home. It's possible. We'll find a way to make it happen if this is really the thing for you to do.
Thanks, James. And you're absolutely right. The Office of Admissions and the Office of Financial Aid here at UNC have a great working partnership. So once students get admitted, we hopefully have your award letter, if you file the Fafsa on time, on record, where we can go over your individual financial aid situation. So yes, contact admissions and also be in touch and communicate with the Office of Financial Aid. So thank you again, James. Lauren, James kind of touched on scholarships and different financial options for paying for college. Could you educate our viewers a little bit more, and more specifically, what kinds of automatic scholarships does UNC offer?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a couple different automatic scholarships, which like Erwin said, they are automatic. So as soon as you apply to UNC, if you meet those qualifications, you receive the scholarship. So there's no additional application, no additional fee or anything like that to receive these scholarships. The main ones that we do offer are going to be merit-based. So the first one is going to be called the Provost Scholarship. And essentially what that is you need to have at least a 3.4 GPA, a 24 on the ACT, or an 1160 on the new SAT. So those are the basics for that scholarship. If you do meet those qualifications, you'll actually get $2,000 yearly just for meeting those qualifications. And then that is renewable each year with good academic standing. So it's definitely very, very important to continue to do well in high school so that you're able to get some of these automatic scholarships. We also have a couple other ones as well. So based off of the same credentials, the GPA and the test scores, we also have the presidential and then the trustee. So if you have questions about whether or not you receive these scholarships, or if you just have questions about scholarships in general, I highly recommend talking to your admission counselor.
I also want to mention that those scholarships are also, all Dreamer students are also eligible for those students. So if you're a Dreamer, we know that funding is difficult, but you are eligible for some of those scholarships, all of the institutional scholarships, like the ones that Lauren was talking about.
Thank you, Letty. So James, I'm going to ask you this. Well, actually, all of our panelists are UNC products, but James, can you tell me what kind of resources and student services can an exploring or incoming student receive at UNC?
Yeah, most definitely. And for me, I'll just make the plug right now and get involved in some sort of club or organization. We have over 150 different clubs and organizations. And for me, honestly, it changed the trajectory of my life to find a group of people that I really belonged with. I'll touch on a couple other resources here. We have free tutoring, whether that's through our writing center or the math lab, or for any of your individual classes. You can get free tutoring and get extra support that way. We also have Outdoor Pursuits, which is an awesome equipment checkout service. It helps students to really go out into the world around them. We have over 40 parks here in Greeley. It's a really beautiful city. And we also are pretty close to a lot of other outdoor recreational activities, and Outdoor Pursuits can help get you out into those. We have sports, whether that's Division I sports or club sports, or all these intramural sports where you can, bubble soccer is one of my favorite ones, where people are in those huge bubbles just running into each other and trying to kick balls into goals, which is awesome. We have 4 different cultural centers on campus that really promote and celebrate cultural diversity and really want to promote and foster academic success for students of color and also for all students. We have CHE, which is our Center for Human Enrichment, that focuses on helping first-generation students really be mentored in their transition to UNC when they haven't had other people that have made that transition before them. And we have a University Program Council that sets up all sorts of awesome events for students pretty much every night of the week. So you never have to leave campus. You can always find something to do and find a place to belong right here on campus. And there's so many other resources I could touch on, but that's definitely a good chunk to start off with.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. UPC, or the University Programming Council, offers a lot of programming for all of our students, regardless if you're in your first year or last year. And one of our good friends, Austin Lujan, is a graduate assistant over there. So we know the quality of programming that he offers to all of our beers on campus. This next question, James, seeing how you gave us a nice little introduction about yourself being Claus and in progress for PhD and MD, you are also in charge of on-campus visits. This exploring student says, how can I visit campus?
Yeah, so come. We want students to check out UNC. I always say that the best thing for students to do is really step onto UNC's campus. I think we surprise a lot of people, especially when they get here and start walking around and feel what it's like to potentially be a Bear here at some point. So we offer tours every day of the week that we're open. So that obviously excludes holidays. But every day of the week, Monday through Friday, we will also offer Saturday and some Sunday tours through September and October and March and April. And they're offered in the morning and in the afternoon. And we also have, so you can go online to register for those. We have a calendar. You can find the date and time that works for you there. We also have different event days that I want to touch on. Discover UNC and Destination UNC, which are large group but super immersive days that prospective students can come check out UNC, see what a class is like. Discover UNC is more for students who are still exploring a lot of their options, and those will be happening. Our next one's October 14th, which is my birthday. You can come say happy birthday to me there. And then we'll have destination days later in the year, which will be for students who have kind of said, yeah, UNC is definitely where I'm going to come to, and you'll be walked through a lot of what student life will really be like during those days. So that's another good day to check out as well. Those were Discover UNC and Destination UNC days.
Now, I love the atmosphere at both those events. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's when I really found my common friendships with you, Claus, and James. And I already knew Larissa and Lauren prior to that, but our campus does come together on those days to show exploring students and support members what UNC offers, not just now, but in 4 years. So it's a continued realm of support on this campus. So thank you again, James. Lauren, I'm going to ask you this question. If I'm taking AP classes, will I get college credit for these?
Yes, however, you don't get the credit just from taking the class. You will have to actually take the AP exam. So be sure to actually do that. And in order to receive college credit, you usually will need at least a 3 or higher on your AP exam to be able to get credit for college. The credit evaluation chart for any AP or IB courses is all online. So again, if you can't find it or if you have any questions about it, you're always welcome to contact us at admissions and we can help you out with that. But for the most part, if you take the AP exam and you do pretty well and you get at least a 3 on that test, then you will likely be receiving some type of college credit.
Thanks, Lauren. Looks like we have time for one more question. And it's a pretty blanket question that's being asked, and I'll ask all of our panelists to go ahead and answer. What are some final tips or bits of advice for incoming students at UNC? Larissa?
I would say the biggest piece of advice that I could give any incoming student is to start early, to start applying early, start looking at what you want to study, start looking at scholarships early. There's a lot of deadlines that are coming up, financial aid, all of that stuff. So you really just need to look into it as early as possible. The other part that I wanted to mention is getting involved. Once you come to university, then you really want to be involved, get to know people, get out there, go to the cultural centers. Staying involved really helps your academic success. And one last piece is tomorrow we are going to have this same Google Hangout session, but in Spanish, and I will be moderating. So I'm really excited about that. So if you know anyone that speaks Spanish, or if you have family members that speak Spanish and want to get this information in their native language, please check out our Google Hangout tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
Mountain Standard Time.
And I think for me, as far as tips, the number one thing that James touched on is definitely visit campus if you're able. I definitely think it makes a huge decision in deciding where you want to attend school, and kind of shows you a little bit of what UNC is all about. So I highly recommend just visiting campus, and like Larissa said, just making connections, and getting involved is huge, but also asking for help when you need it. If you need help with the application, don't be scared to ask. And also feel free to talk to any UNC faculty or staff members, as we're usually very, very helpful.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, I was going to say get connected, which Larissa touched on, and then I was going to say ask questions, which is what Lauren just said. So definitely do those things. If you want to learn more about a different program that's at UNC, just go ahead and email the faculty member who's in charge of it, and check those things out. Pursue what you're interested in. Find that sense of belonging, and come visit. So come see us at one of the daily visit or Discover UNC or Destination UNC, but get on campus, come check it out, come say hi to me, and we can sit down and chat more about your future as a UNC Bear.
No, you're absolutely right. All three of our panelists were amazing and provided some great information and insight. They're all Bears. I'm a Bear myself. There's no other place for us. We found our fit. It's a great place to be. Come visit us. The Office of Admissions is open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and there's some scheduled tours on the weekends, but their phone number is 351-2881. Please ask for my most favorite Associate Director, Dana Kohler. She will love it. Also, James touched on it earlier. When you're applying for UNC to get admitted, you also want to file your Fafsa, so please contact the Office of Financial Aid. That number is 351-2502. I work there occasionally, but you should ask for my most favorite outreach coordinator, Fabian Garcia, and they will all be able to help you out and answer your questions. Larissa, do you have any final thoughts?
I was just going to mention, make sure to check out the links that we posted on the bottom of this Google Hangout. We have links on how to find your admissions counselor, how to visit campus, the admissions website, all that fun stuff. Another good tip is stay connected with your admissions counselor or with someone. Just ask those questions, make sure that you know what you're doing and you know where you're going.
Yes, our admissions counselors are about to be very active and on the run. We have admissions counselors going to Hawaii and Alaska here in the near future. So please ask your college, your high school admissions counselor, or a career counselor, I should say, about these scheduled visits. If you have any other questions, please contact us, which is 351-2881. I want to personally thank everyone for joining us tonight, and want to remind you that the Office of Admissions is open from 8 to 5. Again, thank you for joining us, and go Bears.